Okay. Here I would say children are by and large far more adaptable than we adults. So what they are taking as norm today, and trust me, they really want to come back to school, with all its rigors and all its everything. Because now they realize when you lose something, you realize how important it is. So this transition that will happen from this present new normal, and hopefully when we go back to our so-called earlier normal, though I do not think we'll ever go back to our earlier normal, one thing we have to understand that this transition will also be very, very gradual. Even when it's not like we get a vaccine and everybody is out. It will never happen that way. So it will be a very slow and gradual going back to the world of normalcy. And that I am very hopeful that that will give us enough time to adapt to it in a different way. But please do understand that we will never go back to the normal that we left behind in the month of March. We will go back to normalcy, but it will not be the same. At least that is my opinion. I don't think it will be the same. Because this pandemic, with its experience, which none of us as adults and the children, nobody has experienced this before. Why we are so, anxious or agitated? Because it is absolutely novel to us. We ourselves are, trying to cope with it. It's only when we can cope, we can guide the younger ones. So it is our coping, but what I feel is that, if you are honest, if you are communicative, and if you just deal with the teenage issues, like I said, we have also experienced it. We have also had trying adolescents, some of us, but for them it is far more difficult because also of the societal changes. And they're constantly seeing what is, children are very perceptive. They see what is happening at home, even if you do not tell them. So it is more by example, more by modeling, more by being open and clear. That, and if you are clear and if you accept, all right, fine, I have made a mistake, the child also learns that if you make a mistake, the world doesn't crash. It's a mistake, like anything else.
Correct.
So that is the way to go forward.
Thank you, madam. I have a question that basically, never in our life we had so much time together. So initially it was so invigorating that everybody enjoyed. But I think later on the need of space is creating a problem that everybody earlier were only 2 to 4 hours active together, but now it's almost 12 to 14 hours. So how to reconcile with that change, because now it is more resulting in clashes rather than a good atmosphere at home, because everyone is not able to give time at the same time, because the times are of a different zone when they are acting on their classes or their career work, or we are doing our work or household chores. Even the absence of household maids have created a problem of doing the household work. Who will take the responsibility? So some clashes are happening more frequently, I believe. And how do we reconcile with an grown up family?
I started this by saying that initially there was this novelty of being together, doing things together. But when it continued, and it still continues, and we do not know when it will end, naturally, tempers are getting frayed, and everybody is losing their patience. What I had said before, I reiterate, the children, no matter what, the online classes or research, whatever, but they have to contribute, even if it's in a very minor way, they have to contribute to the housework also. It has to be divided between every member of the family. Because when parents, if you do not have any house help, and the parents too are working and the children are also having their online classes, the work, some small things the child needs to do, there will be a bit of a tantrum, but then you just be strict about it and say, no, this is part, because we are also doing, you also have to help. And there has to be, like I said, some common fun times when you're not, we all have our stressors and our problems, but some common fun time on a very regular basis will also help matters, including, maybe watching a film on, Netflix or Amazon Prime, and it's okay, fine. What are we going to watch today? So these would be those, those outlets. And then you have a major discussion on the film and you say, okay, how terrible, and this and that. So those things we'll have to work out because there are no choice. We can't go outside. We cannot allow them to go outside. And at the same time, they have to complete their coursework. They have to do their research work. So that will also be there. So we have to work. We need to work around these and work out a schedule. And this has to be done with both, parents and children arriving at a consensus. It's not about somebody imposing one's will on the other. That is also very important.
Thank you, madam. One last question from Asif Bhai. Asif Bhai, you can
Yeah.
ask.
Thank you, Manu sir. Ma'am, my question is that I'm a father. We have about 9-year-old daughter, and sometimes when we have COVID positive in our society, so how do we kind of? I know she's very understanding, but it's very difficult for us to keep them in the homes, like at least during this 14 days or whatever. How do we engage them in a positive way? So
Uh,
the energy builds up in positive way.
Yes, yes. That is one major concern because children have a lot of energy and that energy needs to be channelized. So, there are lots of like there are lots of things that the net hinders, but there are lots of advantages of having the net. So, depending on their interest, you can get them to learn things. And children are doing, such wonderful work. I'm talking about 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and I get amazed by the presentations that they come up with. And I often, tease them that, is it your parents helping you out? But no, they know it. So, just look at your child's interest. What are the things that excite her? If music excites her, let her, you can go in for online classes or whatever. If dance excites her, maybe they can dabble in some kind of cooking or something, some artwork. So whatever the child wishes, just be supportive and find ways of helping her, enjoy that. Whether it's music, art, dance, some kind of creativity, some kind of creative work that can happen. Or somebody may be just keen on reading books, so get your child more books if that be the case.
Vikas, you can.
Yes, I think, Ms. Roy, we have to call it a end of the session. Otherwise, probably we'll not leave you for the next half an hour or something. So, coming up in the chat box, a very special thanks to our president, Reverend Father Dominic Savio, for giving us his fantastic inputs and a prayer. Special thanks to our Honorary Secretary, Mr. Sanjeev Konar, for helping organize this session. A very special thanks to our past secretary, Mr. Firdaus Al Hassan, for arranging the speaker. Special thanks to Mr. Manoj Mani Agarpal for handling the session. And to you, Madam Indrani Roy, for beautifully explaining and solving a lot of problems. I'm sure whichever problems are unanswered, they'll catch you personally, or maybe we'll bring you again for another session. Thank you very much once again. Thank you very much to all our members of SXCCA. God bless you and a very good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.